grated a big chunk of ginger into the boiling yam water, stirred it, and smiled proudly as the aroma filled the kitchen. A few minutes later, the yam was soft, perfect. She didn't stop there. She added a little more ginger into the sauce for balance. Ozioma didn't know that Chike's mother hated ginger. She said it tastes like medicine and confusion. Welcome to African Tales by Ewa. Please relax while we go on this journey together. That Sunday afternoon was supposed to be the most important day of Ozioma's life, the day she would finally meet Chike's family, the people she had prayed and fasted about for months. Ozioma was 27, a fine, graceful lady from Nsukka, with a smile that could melt stone. She had waited years for love that respected her, and when Chike, a quiet young banker from Anambra, came into her life, she believed God had finally answered. So when his mother invited her for the official visit, she took it as a sign that things were moving fast. That morning, she woke up early, humming and dancing while she packed her bag. But as she got to the junction, her mother called, Ozioma. Remember, my daughter, when you cook for your in-laws, add a little ginger. That's my secret. It softens yam quickly and gives food a royal taste. Her mother's voice was full of confidence, and Ozioma smiled. Mama, I remember everything you cook tastes heavenly. I will do just like you. If only she knew she was walking straight into disaster. Chike's house in Oka was full that day. His mother, three aunties, two cousins, and his father. The air smelled of palm oil and pride. After exchanging greetings and usual questions, where is your father from? Do you go to church? Chike's mother smiled sweetly and said, My dear, we've heard you cook well. Why don't you go to the kitchen and show us small? Ozioma's heart fluttered. This was her chance to impress. She tied a wrapper, rolled her sleeves, and decided to make something simple, white yam and garden egg sauce. But when she noticed the yam was taking too long to soften, she remembered her mother's words. Add ginger, it softens yam quickly. She grated a big chunk of ginger into the boiling yam water, stirred it, and smiled proudly as the aroma filled the kitchen. A few minutes later, the yam was soft, perfect. She didn't stop there. She added a little more ginger into the sauce for balance. Ozioma didn't know that Chike's mother hated ginger. She said it tastes like medicine and confusion. When the food was ready, she carried the food out. Everyone applauded. Eh? See wife material, one of the aunties joked. Our son has chosen well, another added. But the moment Chike's father took the first bite, the atmosphere changed. He frowned, then coughed. Chike took a spoonful, chewed slowly, and then looked up confused. Babe, did you add something new? Before Ozioma could answer, one of the aunties dropped a spoon dramatically. Jesus! What is this? Yam that tastes like pepper soup and painkiller. Chike's mother folded her arms. So you came to test herbal concussion on us? She asked coldly. Do you think we are sick? Ozioma was stunned. No, ma, it's ginger. Oh. My mother always cooks with ginger. That was her biggest mistake. Chike's mother gasped. Your mother taught you to spoil food with ginger? Then she has spoiled you too. The room went silent. Chike couldn't even defend her. When she got home that night, her eyes were swollen from tears. Her mother listened quietly and shook her head. Ha! I told you to add a little, not half the markets. Days passed and Chike stopped calling. His mother had told him, a woman who doesn't know balance in cooking will not know balance in marriage. It was over, but destiny had other plans. Months later, Ozioma opened a small food blog, The Ginger Touch, where she taught people how to cook traditional dishes with modern twists. Her first viral post, The Day Ginger Ruined My Bride Prize. Her honesty touched thousands. Even Chike called one day laughing, Ozi, you made history with your yam. She didn't go back to him, though she had found something better, purpose. 2 years had passed since that unforgettable day, the day Ozioma's yam and ginger destroyed her dreams of marriage. But time, as they say, has a way of seasoning every story. Ozioma had transformed a cooking page. The Ginger Touch had grown into a household name across Nigeria. She had over 500,000 followers online and a cooking segment on TV. People no longer laughed at her ginger story. They loved her for it. She had turned shame into power. Yet, deep inside, sometimes at night, she would still whisper, if only they had tasted it with love, not judgment. One evening, she appeared on Good Morning Africa, the host asking brightly, Chef Ozioma, what inspired your success? She smiled, that soft, humble smile that now captivated millions. Failure did. I once cooked yam with too much ginger for my would be in laws, and they rejected me. But the same ginger they mocked now pays my bills. The crowd laughed, applauded, and the video went viral overnight. By the next morning, even people in remote villages had seen it, including one person who hadn't smiled since that fateful day, Madame Uju, Chike's mother. Madame Uju sat before her TV, shaking her head in disbelief. This girl again? The one that cooked ginger yam? And now she's on TV teaching people? Her sister-in-law laughed. Uju, the same ginger you called medicine, has made her a millionaire. Maybe you should cook with it now. But Chike just sat quietly. His face was pale. Mama, he said softly, I think I made a mistake. Madame Uju turned sharply. Mistake? My son, marriage is not by mistake. I only wanted the best for you. But the best didn't make me happy, Mama. Ozzy had vision. She had fire, and I lost her because of one pot of yam. He stood up, grabbed his car keys, and left without another word. The next day, during a live taping of the Ginger Touch Kitchen show, a familiar figure walked in. Chike. Ozioma froze. The cameras were rolling. The audience gasped. Ozzy. He began, voice trembling. I came to apologize, not for that day, but for every moment I stayed silent when you needed me to speak. The studio went quiet. You could hear a pin drop. I let my mother's pride destroy something beautiful. But when I saw how far you've gone, I realized you were never the problem. You were the lesson. Ozzy smiled faintly. You came all this way to say sorry and maybe to start again. She looked at him, long and deep. Chike, I forgive you, but you can't reheat food that's already served. The audience erupted with applause. Chike smiled sadly, nodded, and left quietly. Months later, Ozioma hosted the Ginger Festival, our biggest event yet. People came from all over the country. Chefs competed with ginger-based recipes. Vendors sold everything from ginger juice to ginger perfume. And guess who showed up unannounced? Madame Uju. The crowd parted as she approached the stage. Everyone murmured. She took the microphone. My daughter, she began softly. The first time I tasted your food, I spat it out. But today, I came to taste it again. Not your cooking, but your success. And I see it is sweet. The hall exploded in applause. Ozioma smiled, tears glistening in her eyes. She stepped forward, hugged the woman who once mocked her, and whispered, "Thank you for rejecting me then. It gave me strength to be accepted by the world." That day, photos of Madame Uju hugging Ozioma trended everywhere with the caption, "The same ginger they mocked is now seasoning destiny." As for Chike, he eventually opened a small restaurant named Taste of Regret. When asked about the name, he would laugh and say, "Never underestimate a woman who knows the power of spice." My people, tell me, was it destiny or karma that brought Madame Uju back to Ozioma? If you were Ozioma, would you give Chike another chance after everything? And most importantly, what's your ginger? That thing people mocked, but God later used to lift you. Drop your thoughts in the comment section as we go ahead to see what later happened between Chike and Ozioma. By now, Chef Ozioma Uwondo, popularly known as the Ginger Queen, had become one of the most sought-after culinary personalities in Nigeria. A show aired every Saturday across Africa, and every episode began with a signature line, "In every pot, there is a story, and every story has its spice." A journey from rejected bride to celebrated chef had inspired millions, but behind the success, there was still a quiet part of her heart that longed for genuine love, not one born of fame or pity, but one that saw her soul beneath the spotlight. One afternoon, Ozioma received an official-looking envelope. It was an invitation to a culinary empowerment summit in Abuja, sponsored by one of the biggest agro companies in West Africa, Obina Group Holdings. They wanted her as a keynote speaker. When she arrived at the Grand Hotel Hall, the banner at the entrance read, "Celebrating African Flavors," hosted by Chief Obina Okafor. Ozioma had heard of him, a widower, late 40s, self-made billionaire from Enugu, who built his empire from the ground up. When he finally walked into the room, tall and calm in a white senator outfit, his presence drew quiet respect. During her speech, Ozioma spoke with her usual grace, ending with, "Ginger once ruined my bride price, but today it spices my destiny." The audience laughed and applauded, but Chief Obina didn't laugh. He just watched her deeply, with admiration that went beyond her words. After the summit, he invited her for tea at his private lounge. Chef Ozioma, he said, smiling faintly, "I watched your story long before I met you. You remind me of someone I once loved, my late wife." She too turned pain into power. Ozioma's eyes softened. "Thank you, Chief. Life really does have a strange way of using broken pieces to build new tables." He chuckled. "Exactly. I'd like to partner with you, not just for business, but for legacy. Let's build a culinary institute for women across Africa. You will be the face of it." She was speechless that night as she lay in her hotel bed. Her heart was full, not of romance yet, but of gratitude. God was rewriting her story beautifully. Weeks later, as the partnership grew, Chief Obina began visiting her studio often. He wasn't loud or flashy. He simply listened, supported, and advised. And soon, Ozioma became noticing something gentle in the way he looked at her. One evening, after a long shoot, she found a small package on her office table, a bottle of ginger perfume with a note that read, "To the woman who turned flavor into faith, Obina." Her heart fluttered, but just as their bond began to grow, someone from her past returned. Chike. Chike came unannounced during one of our charity events. He looked humble, older, and strangely desperate. Ozzy, he began, "I came to say congratulations and to say I still love you. Mama has been begging me to find you. She says no other woman fits me like you." Ozioma looked at him, memories flooding back. The humiliation, the pain, the ginger jokes. "Chike," she said softly, "you didn't fight for me when it mattered. Now I'm no longer the same girl you left." He knelt down publicly. "Give me one more chance. Let's start again." The crowd murmured. Cameras flashed. Just then, a familiar voice spoke behind her. "Young man," Chief Obina said firmly, stepping forward when she needed your strength. "You hid behind your mother's pride. Don't kneel now that the world bows to her." Ozioma turned to Obina, confused. "Chief," he smiled warmly and pulled out a small velvet box. "You taught the world that rejection can birth greatness, but who teaches the teacher love again? I want to." The crowd screamed as he went down on his knees. "Ozioma Nwondo, will you marry me? Not because of what you cook, but because of the woman you've become." Tears streamed down her face. The same hands that once trembled over a pot of yam now trembled over a diamond ring. She nodded slowly, whispering, "Yes, yes, I will." The hall erupted. Even Chike smiled through his shame, whispering to himself, "Truly, destiny has flavor." Their wedding was a national sensation, simple, elegant, and filled with laughter. The catering menu, ginger yam and garden egg sauce. When asked why she chose that dish, Ozioma laughed and said, "Because sometimes what once burnt your tongue becomes the very taste of victory." Today, the Ginger Foundation for Women Entrepreneurs stands across 5 African countries, giving hope to those who once felt unworthy. My people, tell me, was it destiny that brought Chief Obina to Ozioma's life, or was it divine compensation? And if you were her, would you have chosen love with a new man or gone back to the one who first broke your heart? Because sometimes God delays what is yours just to serve it hotter, sweeter, and seasoned with grace. Please, my people, I need to hear your comments. I need to read from you. Comments are welcomed in the comment section below. Thank you for watching my story. I really appreciate your time spent on my channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe, like, share with your loved ones. If you wish to help me grow my channel, please buy me a super thanks. Give this video a thumbs up. Thank you. This is African Tales by Ewa. Until I come again your way with another interesting and educating story. Bye for now.